Most men never see the tests coming not because they're blind, but because the tests don't look like tests at all. They feel like love, like conflict, like ordinary relationship friction. But beneath the surface, every emotional outburst, every sudden silence, every casual comparison to another man is a probe, a silent examination of your strength, your boundaries, and your ability to lead without force. Women don't do this consciously, at least not always. It's instinct, wired deep into their psychology. They're not scheming villains. They're simply searching for something solid in a world full of men who crumble under pressure. The moment a woman senses hesitation in you, when you apologize unnecessarily, when you chase her after she pulls away, when you let a disrespectful comment slide, she files it away. Not out of cruelty, but necessity. Her attraction isn't based on kindness alone, it's rooted in security. She needs to know that when life gets chaotic, you won't absorb her emotions like a sponge. You won't panic when she cries, cave, when she threatens to leave, or beg for approval when she tests your confidence. These aren't games. They're survival mechanisms, the cruel twist. The more you try to fix things by bending, the less she respects you. Double texting after her silence doesn't prove your love, it proves your neediness. Begging her to stay when she threatens to leave doesn't show devotion, it shows fear. And every time you surrender a piece of your self-respect to keep her happy, she feels it. Not as love, but as weakness. This isn't about dominance. It's about emotional stability. A woman doesn't want a man who mirrors her chaos. She wants one who can contain it. The tests will keep coming not because she enjoys them, but because she's waiting for you to prove, just once, that you're uncheckable. And when you do, everything changes. The tests women use aren't random, they follow patterns, each designed to reveal a different facet of your strength. The first and most common is the silence trap. She withdraws without explanation, leaving you scrambling for answers. Most men panic, flooding her phone with messages or apologies for things they didn't even do. But her silence isn't about you, it's a test of your emotional independence. If you chase, she learns she can control your mood with absence. The right move? Match her energy, let silence. A man who needs constant reassurance is a man who can't lead. Then there's the jealousy seed. She casually mentions an ex, a coworker, or a guy who flirted with her just to watch your reaction. If you tense up, interrogate her, or suddenly become extra attentive, she sees insecurity. Women don't bring up other men because they miss them. They do it to see if you're threatened by ghosts. A man who's truly confident doesn't compete with shadows. He knows his value isn't up for debate. The overreaction bait is another classic. She push a boundary, maybe mock you in front of friends, or dismiss something important to you just to see how you respond. If you laugh it off, she assumes you lack self-respect. If you explode, she label you volatile. But if you calmly correct her firm, unshaken, she feels something shift. Not anger, but respect. The help me, then shame you cycle is more insidious. She asks for your support, emotional, financial, or practical, and you deliver. But later, she downplays it or even throws it back at you. This isn't ingratitude. It's a test of your motives. Are you helping to gain leverage, or because you're solid either way? A man who expects applause for basic decency is a man who doesn't truly understand strength. Finally, the emotional dump, where she shares every trauma, fear, and past wound, watching how you handle it. If you turn into her therapist, absorbing all her pain, she starts seeing you as an emotional crutch, not a partner. Women don't fall in love with men who fix them. They fall for men who remain unbroken while they fix themselves. Each of these tests is designed to answer one question. Can I trust this man to hold firm when everything else is falling apart? Fail them, and she stay, but the attraction will fade. pass them and she relaxes into your strength in ways words can't describe. Women don't test men because they enjoy mind games. They test because evolution demands it. Throughout human history, a woman's survival and the survival of her children depended on choosing a partner who could provide stability in an unstable world. While modern society has changed dramatically, these deep-seated instincts remain. When a woman pushes your buttons or withdraws affection, she's not being cruel, she's unconsciously checking for the traits that have kept our species alive for millennia: emotional resilience, leadership, and unshakable inner strength. The paradox is that what feels like rejection in the moment is actually an invitation, an opportunity to demonstrate you're the kind of man who can handle life's pressures without crumbling. Her tears, her silences, her sudden mood shifts aren't attacks, they're stress tests for your character. Just as a captain must prove himself during a storm, a man proves himself during emotional turbulence. Women don't truly want a man who bends to their every whim. They crave someone who remains steady when their own emotions are in chaos. This explains why being overly accommodating often backfires. It signals you lack the core strength to push back when necessary. These tests serve another vital function: they maintain polarity in the relationship. Without this natural tension, attraction dies. When a man stands firm in his boundaries while still being loving, he creates the magnetic pull that keeps passion alive. The woman who seems to complain about your stubbornness today will be the same woman who respects you tomorrow, because deep down, she knows a man without boundaries is a man without the strength to protect what matters. This isn't about dominance, it's about providing the emotional security that allows true intimacy to flourish. When you stop seeing these tests as problems and start recognizing them as opportunities to lead, everything changes. Not just in how she sees you, but in how you see yourself. The key to passing these tests isn't about memorizing tactics. It's about embodying an unshakable mindset. When she throws emotional chaos your way, the most powerful response isn't reaction, it's presence. If she withdraws, match her energy instead of chasing. If she tests your patience, remain calm instead of rising to the bait. This isn't about playing games, it's about demonstrating that your peace isn't dependent on her moods. A man who can't be emotionally manipulated is a man who commands respect without demanding it. Boundaries are everything. When she crosses a line, whether through disrespect, mind games, or inconsistency, you must respond with firm, quiet action, not empty words. Correct the behavior immediately, not with anger, but with the steady certainty of a man who knows his worth. If she persists, walk away. Not as punishment, but as proof that you refuse to negotiate your self-respect. Paradoxically, this is what makes a woman feel safe, not endless accommodation, but the quiet confidence that you won't tolerate mistreatment. Detachment is your superpower. When she threatens to leave or withdraws affection, your job isn't to convince her to stay, it's to remain unfazed. Women don't fall for men who cling. They fall for men who are solid with or without them. This doesn't mean being cold, it means being so secure in yourself that her choices don't dictate your emotional state. The moment she senses you're more invested in keeping her than in honoring yourself, the power shifts and attraction fades. The ultimate test isn't hers, it's yours. Every challenge she throws your way is really a question. Asterisk, are you the kind of man who stays true to himself, no matter what? Answer that with your actions, not your words, and you'll never need to chase her approval again. The ultimate victory isn't about winning her, it's about becoming the kind of man who cannot lose himself, regardless of her choices. When you consistently pass these tests, something profound shifts in the relationship dynamic. She stops seeing you as someone to manage or control, and starts seeing you as someone to trust and surrender to, not out of weakness, but because your strength creates space for her to soften. The woman who once tested you with silence begins sharing her real thoughts. The one who pushed boundaries starts respecting them without being asked. The paradox? The less you need her approval, the more freely she gives it. This transformation doesn't happen because you manipulated the game. It happens because you stopped playing altogether. You stopped seeing her emotions as problems to fix and started recognizing them as natural currents in the relationship's tide. Your stillness, in the face of her storms, becomes the anchor she didn't know she needed. And when she finally encounters a man who won't bend to her whims but also won't punish her for having them, that's when real intimacy begins, not the performative kind, but the deep, magnetic connection that makes other couples wonder what. You've got that they don't dot in the end. These tests were never about her, they were always about you. Every moment of tension was an invitation to grow, every emotional challenge a chance to strengthen your resolve. The man who emerges isn't just more attractive to her, he's more aligned with himself. And whether she stays or goes, that version of you is the one that lasts. That's the real prize, not her love, but your own unshakable self-respect. And, ironically, that's exactly what makes you impossible to forget.